Hey there guys, you're probably noticing this is a little bit of a departure from the content that's normally on this channel, and that's because I'm doing a little bit of testing. I'm currently on my motorcycle. It is a Rebel 1100T. The only difference between the T model and the normal Rebel 1100 is the fact that you get this batwing on the front here, and you also get two hard bags on the back, which are really handy actually because they lock, so it just means that you can have stuff in your bike that you can walk away from, you know, unlike a fabric bag or a leather bag or something like that. Okay, so why have I even got this set up in the first place? I recently went on a trip to the Isle of Man for the TT races. Me and a buddy of mine took our motorcycles up to Liverpool, got on the ferry and went across on the rest days on the island, so there was no racing, or even on the days where there were racing but it was out of race time. Me and my buddy went jaunting around the island, and I've got to say it was great fun, but the scenery was absolutely stunning. I remember thinking to myself, it's a shame that I can't capture any of this. Obviously when you're riding a motorcycle you can't be holding your phone out taking video and whatnot. There's parts of the island where you think you're on another continent. I mean, there's a great part where lots of evergreen trees, and there's a valley that dips down, the kind of thing that, you know, you could wingsuit down, and it goes all the way down to a shoreline. And I was gutted that I weren't able to capture any of that, so I was thinking about that while I was out there and thought, yeah, let's see if I can put together a little motovlogging setup, and maybe I can capture that next time I'm over there. So let me tell you a little bit about what I've got going on here at the moment. I've got a camera mounted to the chin area of my helmet. The camera itself is an Insta360 1RS, and the reason I chose this camera over others is a mixture of price, functionality, well, I say functionality, problems associated with other action cameras. For instance, the GoPro is notorious for freezing or crashing, and the only way that you can actually take it out of that state is to remove the battery and piss around the SD card, or even maybe format it. So you may have lost or corrupted the footage that you've already grabbed, which is a real shame. But yeah, I saw in forums hundreds of people saying that this was a big problem with their GoPro. So I decided to avoid that headache, and that's why I went with the Insta360 1RS. Okay, so that's the camera, that's the 1RS. The way I've got it mounted to the helmet is, well, it comes with a mounting case, the camera, but obviously you need to mount that case to something. So what I did was I started searching for mounts, and I came across a company that actually 3D print mounts for specific helmets. Now my helmet is an Arai, I think it's an Access 3, and they didn't have a mount for that helmet, but they did have mounts for other Arai helmets. So I just basically looked for the closest thing that I could find, and I ordered that, and it arrived, and I very quickly found out that it didn't actually conform to the contours of my helmet. But luckily I was able to get around this by fixing the mount to my helmet with something called Glue. Now this is a moldable glue. It looks a lot like plasticine actually, or something like that, and you can get it in loads of different colours. My helmet's black, so I got it in black. So yeah, I got some glue, rolled it up and heated it up so it was malleable. Applied it to the back of my mount and then just pushed that into the helmet, and pushed it into the helmets. Some of the glue squeezes out the side, so you're gonna have to wipe some of that away, clean up the excess, mould it to make it look clean. In fact, I'll put a shot of what that looks like up on screen now. And then you leave it for 24 hours. There's a temptation there to check it after a couple of hours, but if you do that, you're probably going to weaken it. So just leave it the hell alone for 24 hours, and yeah, job's a good one. So that's the camera. Now for the audio. Obviously you are not going to want to use the audio that the camera records because, well, it's on the outside of the helmet for starters, so all you're going to hear from that is a lot of wind noise. And to be honest, even when it's stationary and you're recording in a, you know, quiet environment, the audio isn't really that good anyway. But I needed a solution to record inside my helmet. Now, the Insta360 camera actually has the ability to it's got a Bluetooth module in it, so you can connect to other Bluetooth devices. Now, I'm using a comm system that's attached to my helmet, and that is Bluetooth enabled because that's how it connects to your phone. And I thought, I wonder if I can connect this thing to my Insta360. Again, the audio quality is not all that great. Lot of noise, that type of thing. I mean, it has got like an algorithm to remove wind, so that's not so much a problem, but the quality of the vocals themselves is not good. So I started looking for another solution, and in the end I settled on a Instamic. Now, you may be thinking because of the name that it may be associated with the Insta360. It isn't. It's a separate company. So yeah, the Instamic is well, it's pretty cool, to be honest. It's got 3 different modes. So the first mode is recording mode. The second mode is I think it's like record to device or something like that. And the third mode is Bluetooth mode. So let me go through each of these options that you can have. Right, I should probably describe the device itself first. It's a tiny little unit that's standalone. There's no wires or anything coming out of it. Let these guys past. Yeah, there's no wires coming out of it or anything like that, because this is what I wanted to avoid. Usually with audio setups, people get a module that plugs into their camera, and it'll be like a audio input or something like that. Then they'll have to put a mic, like a lavalier or something like that, in their helmet. Then they'll have a wire coming from that, coming to the outside of the helmet and into the camera. And I just thought, every time you want to record or put your helmet on, you've got to rig all this shit up and reconnect it. And I didn't really want to do that, so that's why I bought this mic, because like I said, it's standalone. There's no wires coming out of it. It's got its own internal storage, so an SD card, or solid state memory or whatever, and it's got its own power source as well. So this thing has got like a little USB, I don't think it's type C, I think it's something else, but you charge up the unit via USB, and this thing will run for 6.5 hours. So it's perfect. And like I said, no leads coming out of it or anything. So let's go through the modes. It's got 3 modes. The first mode is recording mode. And all this does is, when you hit the button, it records and saves the audio to the internal memory, to the internal storage of the device itself. That's what I'm using now. One of the upshots of this is you can record 32-bit float audio, so very high quality audio, which is great. 48 kilohertz. The only downside to doing it this way, although if you know what you're doing, it's not really a downside, is that you have to sync that audio with your footage later. So what I'll do is I'll take my footage off the camera, take the audio off the Instamic device, put them both in a video editor like Adobe Premiere Pro, and then sync up the audio to the footage and then do my editing from there. The second mode, which is record to device, there's an app you can download for your phone, an Instamic app, and if you're in that mode, what happens is when you hit record, it will record, but it will save the audio to your mobile device, so it won't be using the internal storage. What it does is it streams from the Instamic to your phone via, you know, the connection through their app. But the downside to this is you can't record 32-bit float audio. I think the max is 24-bit mono. I'm not sure what the kilohertz are. I think it's still 48 kilohertz. But like I said, the audio's at a lower quality. Okay, you may have noticed that the location of the footage has changed. And not only that, it looks like different weather. And that's because it's not the same day. But I will go into that in a minute after I've told you about the third mode. So the third mode for the app is Bluetooth mode. Now the Instamic has got a Bluetooth module inside, so you can Bluetooth connect, and so is my camera. So that means that this Bluetooth mode will allow the Instamic to connect to any device that has Bluetooth capability. Now the mic actually connects over a hands-free Bluetooth profile. The good side of that is that it's compatible with lots of different devices, but the bad side of it is when it comes to quality. Yeah, connecting over this profile will allow you to stream 24-bit mono audio to your device. In my case, I'd be connected to my camera, but it isn't 48 kilohertz, it's only 16. So this is comparable to the kind of audio quality that you'd get, say, in a phone call on a mobile device. There's another issue associated with this mode. Well, it's not really associated with the mode itself, but the interactions between different devices. So, for example, when I've tried this out with my Insta360 One RS, I go into the menu on the camera, go to the section about connecting to AirPods. Now it does describe AirPods specifically, but what it really means is connecting to any device that, you know, supports that Bluetooth profile, of which my mic is one of them. So yeah, you go into the menu with that on the camera, you activate it, it starts searching for nearby devices, it will find your Instamic, you can click on it and it will say connected. Yeah, so like I said, you click on it, it will say connected, and now your mic is connected to the camera. And then you can start recording on your camera, and it should take the audio from your external mic, your Instamic, and embed it straight into the video. So there's no syncing issues, you know, pulling your audio off the mic and pulling the video off the camera. There's none of that. It just goes straight to the video and gets embedded in it. So yeah, you don't have to do any editing and stuff afterwards. But I haven't had much luck with this mode. I was getting a lot of glitches, a lot of random volume up and down jumps. So it didn't really work out for me. Plus the quality wasn't that good. I actually reported this to Michael at Instamic, and him and his team are currently investigating if there's some problem, particularly with what an idiot. Yeah, particularly with Instamic trying to connect to the Insta360 1RS. Now we're getting onto a part of this video that will explain actually why my video changed. So we're going to test that in a minute. The reason my video changed is because the reason I'm recording this on a different day is because in my other video, when I was going down this stretch of road, the sound was terrible, and the reason for that was wind noise, and that's why I'm recording this on a different day. Now we're going to do another test. What I'm going to do is put up the old footage, and you can listen to the sound that came out of that. So let's play that now. Okay, so I think you'll all agree that was pretty awful. And now we're going to do the same test again, now that I've made a fix. So let's increase the speed and see what it sounds like. Okay, so I've lowered my speed again to around 60 miles an hour. Yeah, the reason I wanted to do this test is because I've made a change to my Instamic. Before, in the old footage, I was actually using the windshield that you can buy from Instamic's website, which is massive, so I had to trim it down to something a little bit more workable. But the problem with that thing is the backing that the actual dead cat element attaches to is so thick that it starts to cut out certain frequencies of the sound, and well, to be honest, it sounds awful. So I went digging online and I finally came across these little things. I'll put them on the screen now, that you can get from Amazon for a fraction of the cost, that cover the area of the mic that I'm actually interested in, and it's not so big that it will tickle your face and annoy you and all that kind of stuff. So this is what I'm trialing right now at the moment. Now if it does a good enough job, brilliant. Obviously I'll find out when I look back at this new footage. Yeah, if it does a good enough job, excellent, that's what I'll go with. And if it doesn't, well then I think I can safely say that I'm just going to have to make sure I don't speak to camera when I'm on far sections of road. That can be B-roll footage or something, and it's only when I slow down that we can chat, like now. The only other thing that I should mention is probably the ND filter that I've got on my camera lens. I won't get into massive detail about this, but if you want your shutter speed set to the correct level to get the correct amount of motion blur, then you may find that your ISO level can't move down low enough to compensate for brightness. And in that case, you will have to get an ND filter for your lens, which is basically like sunglasses for cameras. So I've actually got an ND filter on right now because I wanted to make sure my shutter speed was at a level that displayed the correct amount of motion blur, the amount that human beings are used to seeing. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So if you guys have got any questions whatsoever, put them in the comments. I'll either answer them there, or what I may do is make another video and go over some of this stuff in a bit more detail. You know, if you guys are thinking, oh well, I want to know exactly what you did with the mic, or I want to know what your settings are in the app, or anything relating to the camera, what settings are you using, you know, all that kind of stuff, just pop them into the comments and I'll make a judgment about whether I'll make a video about that stuff or not. But yeah, hopefully this all works out, and I look forward to making motovlogging videos. Could be quite fun. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.